right into the front row.
So made sure she had a good grip on it this time and got a good launch off.
A little bit of elevation there certainly helps. Well, let's take a look at the starting lineups, and we'll begin with Nebraska, the top-ranked team in the country to open up the season, the 101th consecutive or overall time that Nebraska has been ranked #1. 3 new starters in the lineup tonight compared to the starting lineup earlier today. New into the lineup, Evans will set, Batenhorst will play outside, and we'll get our first look at Maggie Mendelson, who is just an outstanding athlete. Reclassified into this year, came in early, and is expected to compete along with Becca Alec for that spot at middle. 23 years, hard to believe John Cook's been on the bench that long. 4 national titles, 7 NCAA finals, 10 Final Fours, but expectations maybe have never been, maybe a couple of years they might have been higher, but the expectations certainly are high in Lincoln, Nebraska for what appears to be a talent-laden team, maybe a few pieces. How does Orr step up? Is it Evans at center? Who takes that role? Can they replace the departing middle blocker who went down to Texas, and Kayla Caffey? There's a look at the head coach for the Golden Hurricane, Ryan Wills, in his 9th season, coming off a 14-6-year 9-11 record, 7th place in the American Conference last year. We saw him play earlier today. They knocked off Pepperdine in set 1, but then lost the next 3 to lose it 3-1. This one goes in the middle to Caitlin Horde, not down. Swing long there, and Nebraska on the board. There's a look at Caitlin Horde, a newcomer to the Nebraska program.
And just again, getting those connections, those timings in the middle, and the nerves, as we talked about earlier, even just going through that process. And while she's got a veteran out on the court, just a new venue and a new team and a lot of new things for her.
Service error on Nebraska. They had, believe it or not, 10 service errors earlier today in match #1 in that win over Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Start off with one here in this evening's match.
I don't know, the focus has been really trying to be tough servers, really challenge right from the get-go, and sometimes that results in errors. You just got to find that right balance, and here we get a missed serve from the Tulsa side as well.
One of the 3 captains now to serve, Lexi Rodriguez, in her sophomore year, named a captain. National Freshman of the Year, only the 2nd ever for Nebraska. Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year was Rodriguez, and a staple of that back row, and she was back at it earlier today with those one-armed ups and just outstanding intuitive play in the back row as you see the kill from the right side by Whitney Lonstein.
Back to Lexi Rodriguez again, she just has great position. She's so quick with her feet. She reads the situation so well. And like you said, she holds nothing back to pursue that ball.
Good pass out to the right pin. Nice dig in the back row. Knuckles gets it up. Hold over. Evans takes first touch. Rodriguez steps into set, and Whitney Lonstein delivers from the right pin.
Lonstein does a great job there, stays behind the ball, has good vision of the court as she approaches. She had a good match this morning also, played very well on that right side and just gave kind of that pin dynamic on the right side. She had 8 kills.
Coach Cook, in talking about Lonstein earlier in the year, said, she probably is going to make the biggest jump of anyone from last year just because she was raw as a volleyball player, kind of this level a little bit new to her, but she is so athletic. So has earned that starting spot, starting for the 2nd now match in a row, and we've seen her with a couple of kills here early on. There is, on the other pin, Maddie Kubik.
As I mentioned before, just the rock. She's just so solid out there. And again, having the opportunity to watch her practice a little bit, she just keeps working and pushing herself to be better. Not satisfied, just that constant drive. And you can really tell the confidence and the leadership out on the court that she has kind of stepped into those roles as well. Great coverage there by Rodriguez.
Nice team from off the net. Block goes off of Kubik and out. Point for the Golden Hurricane.
Smidlova on the right side there, taking advantage of the big block, tools it off and gets a big kill and some energy for a team.
Evans runs a quick middle to Mendelson.
Just a tough ball. That ball was pulled Evans off the net. And Mendelson, again, that ball's kind of coming from behind her head over the shoulder. As the ball comes off, you got to get further away from that middle so you have vision and can see that, and it also gives the setter a place to shoot to.
Something called the lift.
Yeah, just
on Evans there.
Kind of took it from behind her.
There's an ace by Braden Hipp. Hipp, a freshman setter out of Fort Myers, Florida, with a nice serve. Was a little late in getting out of the way. And another ace off the tape and drops.
Those are just tough balls as a player. You just got to be ready to react, try and get a hand on the ball. Beautiful pass.
System back to Lonstein one-on-one, and she takes it right off the block. And 3 kills here early on for Whitney Lonstein.
You know, and so key. We talked about serve receive and being so critical part. Again, put you in system. The blockers, Lonstein had a one-on-one matchup based on them having to honor and respect each of the attackers in the front.
So Nicklin Hames now will serve. Hames in a new role this year, obviously. Not setting for the Huskers, but in a defensive specialist role. Coach Cook just raved about not only her play, but her leadership in her super senior year. What she has meant to some of the younger players and guiding them through the fall camp. Great up there by Hames.
But also, again, for Hames, just again a rejuvenation of excitement, doing something different, you know, and contributing in a different way, and also maybe seeing some of her teammates excel, and as you mentioned, leading them through that.
That was fired through. Heavy swing there by Kaylee Cassidy. Cassidy, all-conference player out of the AAC. First team all-conference, gets the kill.
Cassidy really leads the offense for the Golden Hurricanes. She's kind of their key player and go-to gal. She led the team last year, averaging just shy of 4 kills per set. So when they have the opportunity, they like to feed her the ball. Nebraska coming together after that play, just really communicating and talking. Making adjustments, trying to stay on the positive side of each play.
Good quick tempo from Evans to Kubik. Pulled her inside of the set, and Kubik puts it down.
Right, just again bringing that ball inside, puts it in a different spot. The blockers need to adjust. The ball coming from a different location, and I think the key there is the tempo, just the fast pace, and beats the block.
Powered through the block, point for Tulsa.
And really, I think the key here is Tulsa is really focusing on Evans being in that front row, trying to take advantage of that smaller blocker up there. And they've seen some success with that. Another great pass there by Kubik.
Batenhorst with the swing not down, and then another point, and Tulsa now up by 2 at 9-7 here in set 1.
Bailey Rowe there with that swing on the right side. She's a lefty, so it's in her on-hand side, so she's really in a strong position to make those hard shots.
Tulsa goes across court on the slide.
Nice fast tempo to the outside. Wow. And Allie Batenhorst on top of that ball. That's been one thing I know Nebraska has really tried to work on, that fast tempo to the outside, giving those hitters the opportunity to really drive to the ball, beat the block, and wow, does she get on top of that ball. Great swing.
Bosinger now into the game. Macy Bosinger, just a freshman out of Firth, Nebraska. Norris High School. First serve this morning, or first serve as a Husker, was nearly an ace. Didn't get back over the net, but...
Again, another tough serve. Great up there by Hames as well.
Back row. Boy, great combo there with Horde jumping first.
Yeah, Horde draws that block there, and again, almost kind of distracts and takes away from Kubik coming in. And just a great lead there by Ani Evans. Leads her, so she's really driving into that ball, and it looks like she's hitting it from a front row position, but really coming from the back. Horde with a great block there.
There is the three-time first-team All-Big Ten performer.
You know, and she's just a force up at the net. She's very strong. She reads well. She's got those beautiful long arms and seals in such a great position with her hands.
Good run here by Bosinger at the service line for Nebraska. That system is long. Batenhorst tried to go deep corner, just missed. So Kasu back to serve now. Avery Kasu, junior out of Dripping Springs, Texas. Dripping Springs High School at 10-10 here in set one. Tried to brush it off the block, sit back to her, and then Caitlin Horde gets the kill.
Horde does a nice job here recognizing the situation, gets off, gives her a chance to really drive to that ball, and really the blockers were there. She just knocked them back off the net.
Yeah, it really wasn't, a great opportunity there for Horde, but the hands did not get over on the block, and Horde took advantage.
And she's just, we talked about being a threat up there offensively too. She's just really strong and powerful. And like, as you said, even in non-perfect situations.
There's Allie Batenhorst with the kill. Batenhorst now with 2 kills in the match on 5 swings. That's the talent that Nebraska has at the outsides with Kubik and Batenhorst. Hayden Kubik, the freshman, who John Cook says may have the fastest swing of the bunch. And there is another one, Whitney Lonstein with the kill. She pulled that inside the block. Just a great adjustment from Lonstein. And you're seeing Lonstein start to develop different shots. So many times last year, blast into the block.
Yep, and that's the piece again, her maturity in the position and learning how to play volleyball and her athleticism at the high school level. She just stands out. She can get away with that, but at this next level, those are the next things that she's got to really grow in.
Smedlova again. Smedlova out of the Czech Republic. Just a freshman, 6'3". For the Hurricane. Horde pushes it over right into the back row, and another kill for Caitlin Horde.
Just great decision by Horde, knowing where she's at, where those open areas are, and comes through with a big play there. I just love that being aggressive. She's going to always go up and go up strong.
Caitlin Horde, 5 kills, 6 swings in the first match today, hit .833. She's had these moments, Caitlin Hort has, where she can just take over a match. We saw it when she was at Penn State. Had a 5-match run last year when she played against Nebraska, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Purdue, all ranked teams, where she hit over 600 in that 6-game stretch.
I mean, her efficiency, you know, that's the thing. She just knows how to find a way.
So it was 10-10. Nebraska on a bit of a run here, 4-1 to take a 15-11. Lonstein lighting it up for the Huskers early on here in Lincoln.
Fans, we would like to remind you that during gameplay, no flash photography is allowed. We thank you for your cooperation.
Could not have been a better start earlier today for Nebraska in the win over Texas A&M Corpus Christi. The Huskers had their second best opening day hitting performance and their second best defensive performance, which overall makes it the best ever differential. Hit .409 better than their opponent.
Pretty good start. You know, usually when you're starting that first game, you don't expect that, and I think John Cook has to be very pleased with what he saw this morning, and some changes to this evening with some lineups and seeing what results from that too. Is, you know, that's one of the things early on these tournaments, you have the opportunity to make some of those changes and see your players do some different things and handle different situations.
Evans behind. Lonstein again, back line, great shot by Witt.
Number 6 for her, and Ani Evans is doing a great job reading the situation too, which has given Lonstein the opportunity to be in some good matchups there at the net, but then Lonstein is finishing, and that's really the key.
Lonstein in the first match today had 5 kills, 7 swings, hit .714 in the match. Right now she's hitting .750, so on the season, Whitney Lonstein hitting above 700 would always be a good thing.
Yeah, that would be a great thing. And we talk about Maddie Kubik here with a great kill. You know, she was the person who just had to, you know, carry a heavy load, you know, and when you can diversify and you have somebody else working the other pins, that's actually only going to elevate her effectiveness as well as the season goes along.
Nebraska coming off, as many fans know, a historically low hitting percentage season, and all they did that year was make it to the national championship match against Wisconsin. But you know, some of these young players starting to develop and take some pressure off of Kubik, to your point, is just going to open things up for that entire offense.
You know, blockers just don't know there's too many threats, and so they can't key in on somebody. And again, your game strategy coming in, you know, really has to be, you got to honor them all. Cassidy with a nice swing there again, her second kill.
Good movement on that serve by Pacali. Leaves it for Lonstein, who just, again, puts it away. That's 8 kills on 10 swings .800 hitting percentage for Whitney Lonstein.
And Evans knows she's being effective and so continues to go to her. She hasn't really utilized her other hitters a whole lot, but again, something's working. And you're just going to keep feeding that until there's an adjustment made.
Free ball opportunity here. Lonstein again, and Lonstein now with 8 kills on 11 swings.
And just, it's working. And the blockers have not adjusted. She had a one-on-one, she had a big hole there, so it just keeps feeding her success.
Lonstein again, just continuing to roll. 8 kills early on for the Waverly product. .62 sophomore out of Waverly, Nebraska, Whitney Lonstein. Her best matches last year were back-to-back when she had 8 kills against Georgia and backed that up with 11, a career high against Arizona State. Both of those were in the preseason, pre-conference. And here we are again in the pre-conference as she's putting together back-to-back outstanding performances.
Well, we're in set number 1 yet here, and she's, with 8 kills, hitting .727, just definitely the hot hand right now. And just a great connection between her, Evans, and her. Both of them Waverly products. They're familiar with one another, and it's paying off.
Throw Becca Alec into the mix, and how about that? 3 Waverly products on a high level. #1 ranked NCAA Division I team.
Wide swing there by Smidlova. Just really, Tulsa's struggling, just really get that offense going. Cassidy is kind of their key offensive weapon, and she's only had, I believe, just a few swings. She's had a few attempts, 10 attempts, but 2 kills yet. Hasn't been able to really find a way to get around that Nebraska block.
Lonstein and Mendelson both out there on the block. Lonstein got that right hand on it, but you can see how big that block is with the 6'5" Mendelson there, and then there's the leaping ability of Lonstein.
Well, and they did a great job. I mean, that lands just on the far sideline, but again, as a blocker too, really getting those hands in a position to be strong and get that ball to go forward and down. It's not just the position, it's also the arms and the hands and all those, and the technique is really, it's very, actually a intricate skill to master.
It's been a busy off season for a lot of these Huskers, not only in workouts and getting ready for the season, but for a couple who competed on the U.S. national teams. Look at this, here's the U21 national team that won gold medal, and Becca Alec was on that team along with Lexi Rodriguez. Lexi Rodriguez was the team captain of that U21 gold medal team. They won the Pan Am Cup in California. Again, Lexi was the captain. And then how about the U19 team in which Maggie Mendelson was on? They won the gold medal at the Pan Am Cup in Tulsa. That was just in late July. And guess who was the captain on that team? Mendelson. There are 5 U.S. national teams that have won gold. The last 5 times, all have been captained by former Huskers. Lexi was a captain, Mendelson a captain, Becca Alec was a captain on one, Jordan Larson, and Kennedy Orr. When Kennedy Orr was on the U18s,
Yep.
she was a team captain. It is remarkable the level of success that this Husker program has had at the national level.
Well, I think the key that you take away from that is they're not only just great players, but they're great leaders, and that is recognized by those people around them, and the players that are around them are also outstanding players. And so I think it's talking about the program and complete package and the kind of players that are on this squad right now.
He deserves a little bit of credit as well. Develops
Yep.
not only great players, but great leaders as well.
And that's what he also looks for in recruiting. You know, that's a key piece that they're looking for recruiting. It's sometimes, too, I can be a great player, but can I play in a system? Can I play in a culture? Can I be a leader? And those are all key elements in that recruiting process.
Looked like there was a touch on that block. All of the players, Huskers, signaled it immediately, and John Cook is going to go to the green card, which he doesn't have one. So here's our first challenge for Nebraska. Right now it's a point for Tulsa at 21-14. Take another look, see if we can see a touch. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, easy.
that was a little almost too obvious, right?
Yeah.
Usually we're trying to look for a finger to move,
Like,
not a hand.
Yeah, did we see anything?
Yeah.
Definitely.
This will not take long. Yep, and it hasn't.
And it was funny. I mean, the entire Nebraska squad turned to Cook and said, "You got to make the call. You got to make it here."
I think those two, John Cook and Lindsey Peterson, are wondering how did he miss that?
Yep.
It was right in front of you. I think that was the conversation going on. One more look. Oh yeah.
Well, and I think again the good thing is about it, the change in the rule. You know, if you do make a challenge, that you don't lose it; it's returned to you again for seeing something that was
right.
You know, was there.
And that is in place this year. 2 challenges, and if you are successful in your challenge, you get to keep. So Nebraska will still have 2 after it's overturned. So flip that. Lonstein now still has not committed an error. She has 9 kills in 12 swings, hitting .750. In for Nebraska now is Nicklin Hames. Hames back to serve. Think about the role change of Hames. And, you know, this is someone who in 2019 broke Jordan Larson's record for double-doubles in a season. Obviously, her double-doubles came in digs and sets, but she passed Gracia Sapero as assist leader at Nebraska in the rally scoring era and accepts the role of switching and becoming a DS for the better of the team.
Well, she's always been a defensive setter. You know, she doesn't vacate. She thrives in that position, an opportunity. I mean, look at her extending out. She doesn't hesitate, and so a nice natural fit for her. But again, being willing to do that, you know, and give up the role, because as a setter, you're the quarterback. You're involved in doing a lot of things there.
Right.
And so to release that, it really, again, talks about her. And she's looking to learn to be a coach. That's kind of her long-term goal. And so this gives her another perspective and how to handle that and maybe work with a player in the future that she may ask to do the same thing.
Back-to-back points here for the Golden Hurricane. You saw Rowe with a great shot in the back corner there. Out of the back row is that added weapon from last year that Nebraska put in. Kinsey Knuckles is a captain this year and back at DS, and she can terminate from the back row.
Well, and talk about, again, another player changing her roles from the libero position into a defensive specialist and now being a back row attacker element to her roles, too. Again, selfless, what's best for the team.
She admitted, she said, yeah, there was that moment of feeling like I let myself down when she lost that starting libero, but she said it wasn't too long after that she realized how much better she was doing for the team and also for herself.
Well, and then the other piece that she really stepped up from that too, or took on, was being a leader for the younger players. And that was something that, again, she was so busy before, she didn't maybe have the opportunity to focus on.
So here's set point in the first for Nebraska. Maddie Kubik back to serve for it at 24-15. Mendelson could not terminate. Back row closed out by the senior, Maddie Kubik. And Nebraska now 4-0 in sets on the day. They take the first here from Tulsa. Lonstein led the way, though, for the Huskers. 9 kills in set number 1 for the sophomore, and the Huskers take a 1-0 lead, 25-15.
And did that, and had, I think a season high of 10 aces for the season last year as she came in that position. Yep. And so getting the opportunity here to run system, and she's making great choices out there. Great start.
Tip try, good coverage by Batenhorst. Off the block and down, and Tulsa with the first point of set 2. And there is Cassidy again. Cassidy's dad played basketball at Morningside. They're out of Overland Park, Kansas. The family is here tonight watching. I think I saw her dad before the match.
She's an all-conference player and really led this team offensively last season.
Just long on the serve.
And that's tough. And again, kind of came out with, got a kill there, stepped back to that service line and a service error. So Tulsa just really struggling to get into any rhythm. Nebraska is forcing that, obviously, but again, trying to find ways to string a couple points together.
Good job by Lonstein to quickly flip that over and then just punched over by Kubik.
Kubik does a nice job. She kind of does a full spin there and takes the ball from behind her. Rodriguez popped it right up on top of her, but she gets herself in a position and then makes a smart choice. Doesn't try to power it, just place it, and comes up with a kill. That's her 6th, I believe, and she's hitting right at 550, 545.
Tough serve there, not down by Knuckles.
Great push there by Lonstein with her hand. Horde.
Caitlin Horde with the block.
I mean, she worked pin to pin along that net, over with Lonstein, then gets to the opposite side with Kubik and is up there. So look at that great sweep, that push in with those hands, pushing it in the center of the court so it doesn't go out of bounds off of her. Great technique.
And another one. There is Horde again, who gets a hand out. Back-to-back blocks by Katie Horde.
She's just so good at the net. She moves well. You know, here she goes. She works from one pin. She gets back into her base and then quickly comes back and seals out on the opposite side of the net. And then here again, just for that last point, is there solid and throws it right back. Again, she just has a great instinct, but then you add that with the quick movement laterally along the net. She is tough.
6'4", great athleticism, terrific ups And just a dominant player to see Kubik with swing there. Little known fact about Caitlin Horde is Caitlin's dad, Derek Horde, played basketball at Kentucky. He was drafted in the 3rd round by the Cavs back in that 1983 NBA draft, which was one of the great drafts of all time. Along with her dad, drafted that year was Isaiah Thomas, Dominique Wilkins, James Worthy. It was just a dynamite class back in '83, yeah. And she gets that athleticism.
Yeah, genetics.
Yep.
Pretty good genetics there. But you know, that transition, you know, joining this team, Coach Cook said it's been seamless. The players love her. It's just great having her on the team, and she's just doing some really great things in training.
Crowd into it here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Nebraska on top, 1-9, 6-1 here in set 2. Huskers are hitting .395 in this match, led by not only Lawnstein, who's hitting almost .700, but look at the numbers for Kubik, .538.
And both of those attackers have not made a hitting error yet. So not all, I mean, that in itself is pretty impressive.
Good timing there in the touch and the kill for Tulsa. Good pace on that quick run to the middle.
Mangari just gets her hand on that. Again, she wasn't really on top of that ball, but went at those high hands of Horde, just got the fingertips and find success.
Mangari, just a freshman out of Mansfield, Texas, Mansfield Legacy High School. Bright future. She had over 1,000 kills in high school and contributing here early to the Golden Hurricane.
And another serving error there for the Golden Hurricanes. Just really, they do something great, and then they follow that up with some service errors. It's just, again, hard to get in a rhythm here and confidence.
Roddy with the serve. Pass is shanked. Back over for a free ball opportunity. Evans pushes out to the pin to Kubik. And that high percentage, hitting percentage continues for Maddie Kubik.
And I'm watching the blockers of Tulsa, and it's just too fast. They're not able to get there and close. And also they're having to hold just in general because, again, Nebraska's have been working both pins, Lawnstein on one and Kubik on the other. But it's really given the hitters a big advantage, and they're capitalizing on that.
No touch. Swing was long, point for Nebraska, and it's 9-2 here in set 2.
Tulsa had a tough match, actually about a 2-hour and 15-minute match this morning, and did some really good things and but just so far have struggled here. Great up, but not controlled. Nice swing there. Again, Cassidy with the power on the outside. That's her 4th kill. She leads the Golden Hurricanes.
Serve there by Cassidy.
Wow, just the power.
Tough swing there for Lonstein over her head. But boy, got some pace on it and put it away.
And those are the balls, again, she normally has power on. They're working her to control that. And again, she was able to get the touch there and control that. But that was a tough ball. You see Evans didn't have many options there, but to try and put it up high, and Lonstein had to just get herself in a position to see it, keep it in. Great serve.
And an ace. Nick Hames. 24 service errors last year for Nicklin Hames. And another one here. Huskers on top, 11-3 here in the second set. Another terrific crowd on hand here tonight at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. There is the student section, which is getting into it a little more this year. They've got some responsibility this year, according to John Cook. This Husker program, for the 101st time overall, is ranked #1 in the country. That leads all schools in the nation. And this is a squad, Kathy, that has 9 freshmen and sophomores. Had some holes to fill with, Caffey leaving to Texas, Kiana Akana leaving.
Graduations.
Right, Lexi Sun, Stivrins. So there were some holes to fill, and yet enough was thought of this program and the talent that it has that it's ranked #1.
Well, and I also think, too, again, last year, just the continued growth that they made last year, struggled out of the gate, and got along, but just, again, to see where they started and where they ended, I think, like you said, that belief and confidence in the program with the personnel that they have here, people believe. They made them believe.
Good pass that time after back-to-back aces, but Mendelson, 6'5", freshman, Maddie Mendelson there, and puts down the block.
Big block there by Mendelson, and again, one-on-one matchup, but what she does is she reads the attacker's approach, and at that last minute reaches over and takes away that angle on the side and closes it down. Great up to the corner.
Knuckles with the diving save, but then right into the block.
Kubik is able to push that through, and the block wasn't up solid, and so it sneaks it between the net and the blocker's hands. See, there's just enough space there, and that's why it's so key. You can't just be in the right spot. You've got to seal that off. Because really, Nebraska was in a tough spot there with that ball.
Block touch there for the Huskers on the slide, Mendelson. And there you see the power of that swing by the freshman, Maddie Mendelson.
Get her the ball in a position, and she can drive through, reads the block very well, takes it that hard cross court, and gets on top of that, makes a statement. The crowd's excited to see that out of the freshman. And to be honest, she reclassified, and so she should be a senior in high school. She should be a high school player.
Another aggressive swing out of the back row by Knuckles, not down.
Tough ball. Great job just to keep that in the court.
And again, another swing. Off of the hands goes Maggie Mendelson, 6'5" freshman out of Ogden, Utah. Couple of kills here in set number 2.
2 big swings coming around on that back side. They're in that 5-1 system right here, so she needs to step up and needs to be another attacker. And she's doing it.
7-0 Nebraska run on the serve of Nicklin Hames.
Oh, well,
Ani got the block just a little long.
Well, being a shorter blocker, you don't usually get on top of the ball. Right. You're popping it up, but just the power behind it, it sent it long, but felt good to get your hand on there solid. You could see she was excited.
So Mongeri now will serve for Tulsa. Did chase down off an aggressive swing on the slide. Very near to
pushing her again. Oh, Evans, oh, great up.
Great pancake.
Best rally we've had here, actually our longest.
Cubic closes it out.
Out of system, still comes through. Like I said, she's a rock.
17-5 the score here in the second set. So how about a team ranked #1 in the country to start the season, but #2 in the Big Ten Conference behind Wisconsin?
Right, and I think, you know, the Big Ten votes, coaches vote.
Yep.
You know, and I think just again the respect of that program too. They got some, they lost some key players, but still have some remaining and brought some key players in, and so it'll be interesting to see. It's going to be a grind. Big Ten always is, but it just keeps elevating, and kind of interesting the coach's view on that.
Dallo-Lurie with that last swing from the left pin, an aggressive kill by the senior out of Istanbul, Turkey. Net violation on Tulsa, point for Nebraska. If you don't look close at that Wisconsin roster, you might think, well, they lose their four-year starting setter, they lose the back row star, they lose the National Player of the Year, and it's going to be trouble for Kelly Sheffield in Wisconsin. But that team has done what Nebraska has done for so many years, which is just reload. Smrek is back. She's a 6'9" clone.
And played incredible
in the,
in the national championship.
Was named the national championship player of the match, right?
Yeah, right. MVP or whatever.
Yep. Good swing and a kill by Cubic. And then they get maybe one of the best liberos in the world coming over. She played pro ball in Europe and is coming over to play for Wisconsin. Just a dynamite libero. So they don't, I think setter's going to be where the challenge.
Yes, I was just going to say, the big position or the big question is in that setting role.
And some would say it is for Nebraska as well.
Yeah, trying to figure that out and sort through that. And even today, Coach Cook is giving both setters opportunities, and some are like, well, what about Nicklin? You know, and again, I think that they've made a decision to move for the future. And here too, and you'll see too, a lot of balls are being served to Haynes.
Yeah.
If you know, that happened this morning's match as well. She received several, and here too, she is the point of contact as far as who they're trying to serve to.
Set definitely low.
But Hoare does a great job, really identifies that area in the middle of the court. If you're not in position to really swing hard power, then know where the open areas are, and that's exactly what she did.
What I've seen out of Hoare in the red-white game and also earlier this morning and a little bit here, not as much in this match, but she loves to go behind the center.
Yeah.
In multiple ways, not just on the slide, but even sets right behind the center. Hoare is so effective.
Well, I think it's that 1 foot takeoff. She likes to explode off of that. And also, if she has, like the slide, she likes to run and drive after the ball. And that actually adds that elevation, that lift and power. And she's got it.
Marta Picali with the serve. Pulls Batenhorst inside.
You see here off of this situation, they're keeping Batenhorst on that right side and Lonstein on the outside here. So if you're kind of wondering, if you're watching in the rotations.
Great one-handed up. There's Roddy again. Lonstein tried line, not there. Cassidy is dug. And closed out by Cassidy. Cassidy with 5 kills here in the match. She's hitting above 100.
And a big win there. That's a nice long rally, some big digs and so forth for Tulsa. So important here, tough serve and keep it in. Try and pick out a point here. Back row blocker there,
Yep.
Ani Evans is in the back row.
Huskers hitting .385 in the match and .385 in this set.
Yep.
Identical. Well, they're going to call it lift.
Lift, yep.
So she pulled it across her body, tried to go line.
Yep. And you see right there, again, the team staying together a little bit longer. Great communication, talking through. You can see the captains talking, Kubik really talking to her teammates there. It's about that refocus, next play.
First hitting error there on Lonstein.
Hoare just gets up, elevates so much, so well. Ugh.
Her best games last year was the game against Wisconsin when they took the Badgers to 5 sets. She had 21 kills and hit .475, and a lot of the times looking right across the net from Dana Redke.
Yeah, I mean, she's just a phenomenal athlete and fun to watch up there. Like I said, she has a presence.
Cassidy again. So Nebraska 4 away from taking set number 2. Tulsa has slowed Nebraska's roll a bit here late in the second set. Could not get it over on the third, so point Nebraska.
And you can see here, just in that last series through the front row, they try to use Hoare in front a little bit more, coming right on top of the setter for that quick ball. So just getting her hitting different shots, keeping the blockers balanced.
Mendelson back in for Nebraska as Hoare went to the bench. Oh, good bump set. Cassidy. Lonstein didn't finish into the block. Good block there by Lonstein.
Yeah, And again, both of Nebraska blockers in sync, very.
Block was late getting there. It was almost a one-on-one for Kubik.
And that's trouble. Kubik, and she recognizes that, sees that, and makes that swing accordingly. Taking that hard angle.
12 kills for Kubik, just one error, 22 swings. She's hitting right at 500. Tough serve and the ace. Lexi Rodriguez with the ace, and for Nebraska, that is 3 aces now in the match. Set point here in the second for Nebraska. Kubik there for the block. Celebration continues here in Lincoln as Nebraska wins set number 2, 25-12, and a first of what will be many. A first ever kill from Maggie Mendelson in set 2. And Nebraska up 2-0 here in Lincoln.
They bring to this team in this program.
There's 3 Nebraska coaches. You see Jalen Reyes just walking off screen. John Cook, and behind him, first-year assistant coach Kelly Hunter. She was a graduate assistant for a long time. Former 2-time national champ at Nebraska. She is in charge of the setters this year for the Huskers. Her mom played at Nebraska. Her sister Lindsay was an outstanding player at Missouri. Member of Team USA for a while. Kelly had a terrific overseas career as well, and has now moved into coaching. Cook's coaching tree is going to be well represented this year in his schedule. You look at where they're going, who they are playing this year. They'll play Ole Miss. Caleb Anworth is coaching Ole Miss. They're going to play Long Beach State. Tyler Hildebrand is coaching there. They're going to travel to Kentucky, where Craig Skinner is the head coach. That should be a terrific matchup in mid-September on a Sunday afternoon. And then, of course, added to the schedule, not only the Big Ten schedule, which is so tough, but they play Creighton, they'll play Stanford, they play Pepperdine tomorrow night. It's just, it's going to be a fun year of challenging volleyball for this Husker squad.
And if you're not challenged, you're not going to be your best.
Right.
And I think that's the mentality, too, of creating some of those difficult challenges in the schedule. You learn who you are.
I guess the one we didn't mention that they'll play this year twice in conferences, the Fighting Illini. Chris Thomas is the head coach for the Illini.
Great. Again, just that dynamic of that back row attack from Maddie Kubik, and how well they lead her into that, to really drive into that. The pace of that ball is tough to really handle.
Lonstein tools the block and gets her 11th kill of the match. That ties her career high. She had 11 last year against Arizona State, so tying a career high for Lonstein.
And just a great tool shot there. She had blockers there and couldn't go with the power. So that's, again, a great growth, I guess, and decision by her that they'll recognize, I'm sure, as they look through film.
Batenhorst off the top.
Just a nice ball. Evans pushes to that outside, gets Batenhorst in a position to tool it. Coach Cook comes over and again gives a big fist pump to Batenhorst. That's the type of shot he's looking to see from his players.
Swing wide there.
Smedlova tries to take that cut shot. She had an angle there, but just didn't get on top of the ball and just going wide. Just missed her mark.
So Ani Evans back to serve.
This puts Nebraska in a really strong rotation with Lonstein, Horde, and Batenhorst up front. That's a big front row, a lot of power.
Off the overpass, Batenhorst put it away. And timeout will be taken by the Golden Hurricane. Early 5-point advantage here for Nebraska in set number 3. We'll be back in Lincoln in just a moment. Well, she's a team favorite and a fan favorite, no doubt. There is Ani Evans out of Waverly getting all of the setting duties here in this nightcap tonight. You know, the most extensive time that she had seen previous to tonight was last year, early in the year, here against Kansas State, when the Wildcats came back, almost beat Nebraska. Ani Evans came into the match for Kennedy Orr at the time and had a total of 12 assists. That was before tonight, her career high, and tonight here she sits
29.
with 29.
Yeah. Doing a great job running the offense, making great decisions out there, and I guess the other part that she's done is get the ball in position for them to hit well where they need it. You know, you got long arm up front, good tempos too, out into position. Really doing a nice job.
Back to serve now.
Horde again.
Block, and there is Horde.
Two stops there on that series. I just love how she moves, and one thing she does well also, she just keeps those hands high. Look at that, how she's strong in her shoulder position, but also, again, those hands, really controlling.
4th block of the match for Caitlin Horde. Nebraska on an 8-0 run. Tulsa opened up with the first point here in the 3rd. Nebraska now 9-point run.
Just a great shot there again by Allie Batenhorst, tooling it off the block. Out of system. Outside's got to be able to find a way to make something happen in those situations.
And Batenhorst's numbers are ticking up. She has 7 kills, hitting .357 for Nebraska. Huskers hitting .455 here in set 3, and they lead it. Well, since hitting a fan right nearly in the face with a ball to start this morning's match, Caitlin Horde has been dynamite.
Well, she's making her presence known, that's for sure, but she has been tough up at the net. We talked about what a force she is up there. She moves so well, she's athletic, she's got great technique, and she's tough to get that ball by. She has 5 kills, 4 blocks, and hitting a .625, so pretty impressive.
Hit over 700 this morning. Good start for Caitlin Horde. 5 kills on 6 swings. .833 was the hitting percentage. Tough serve. Horde steps in to set. No touch. Lonstein is just long. Katie wanted the assist.
Yep. Well, and that's one of those things too. As a middle, you're focusing so much on getting off and being ready to attack. You also sometimes have to be ready to step in and have good hands. You know, and since you don't do that very often, you got to be clean when you do.
Good tip. Kill by Cassidy.
That's her 8th kill. So she leads Tulsa.
So out of that break, back-to-back points here for the Golden Hurricane.
Great job. Just that timing, and that's work through that. And again, I'm really loving watching them talk together. Great up here. I believe that was Pacali shooting under that ball.
Horse got it between the block, but not down. Here's Evans out to Lonstein, and there is a new career high for Whitney Lonstein, 12 kills.
And in this rotation off serve receive, they keep Lonstein on that outside. So gets her in a position to really use her athleticism and drive to that ball.
Great pancake up by Roddy. And then Horde threw it right in the middle.
She's at a whole different level above the net there. I mean, that ball popped up, and she's right on top of it. Didn't hesitate, but look at this great play.
That's terrific.
By Rodriguez. And Horde taking that strong move, finishing it. Like I said, just a whole different level above the net.
Ryan Wills getting clarification from our R1, or I guess it would be R2. Not sure you got the clarification you wanted. Give a tried line. Kasu was right there and a nice up.
And Horde just gets her hands on the ball. There she is again.
Boy, she was late getting to that block, but so quick that she recovered.
And she's strong, and the other thing she does, she watches that attacker so well that she gets herself in position. She took that hard angle, even though she wasn't close. The attacker, she's reading it and sweeping it in.
Good angle there again, where Cassidy has been impressive for Tulsa.
And there takes it underneath the block. That block is difficult, so you've got to find a way to go around it. You're not probably going to get over it. So either try and tool off of it or that sharp angle.
Again, right in the back corner, the block just did not get there, but great set there from Evans.
Yep, she got pulled to the left side and pushes it back, but gets it in a nice position for Lonstein to really drive through it.
She just held that middle for so long.
Yep. Well, and the middle's leading along too, following Evans, thinking she's got to take that outside.
Lift called on Tulsa. Nebraska now up 14-5. Boy, Lonstein just exploded right between the block.
Well, and she did a terrific job getting off the net, so she really could drive, and that ball was coming to her in a good position for her to really see it and get to it.
Now leads Nebraska with 14 kills in the match, hitting right at 500. Almost missed it.
Point, Tulsa. Back to serve for the Golden Hurricane number 10, Kaylee Cassidy.
She's like, I want that one back. Nobody saw that, right?
Yeah. Only 8,000 people.
That's right.
Nice quick tempo, just Middleton a little bit late.
Good bump. Trapped her a little bit, though.
Yep.
Only get a left hand on it. Bailey Rowe was there for the block. Rowe, the sophomore out of Prosper, Texas. Young team here, this Tulsa squad, for the most part. A couple of freshmen playing, getting significant action here, as well as Bailey Rowe, who's a sophomore, Rachel Brown, a sophomore.
The serve is long, point, Nebraska. Checking into the game for Tulsa, number 23.
Both teams, now check that,
Checking in the serve for your Huskers.
5 service errors for the Hurricane, just 4 for Nebraska. 2 aces already in the match for Nicklin Hames. She's back to serve now. Off the block. Daluloage with the kill.
Just a tool shot there. As we talked about, Evans is in the front row now, so she's their focus of the hands, trying to take advantage of that mismatch. Nichols from the back row, then a two-hand. Didn't come out cleanly there.
Back to serve number 10, Maddie Cuban.
Tomorrow night, Nebraska back in this tournament against Pepperdine. Pepperdine also unbeaten. Nicklin Hames will be looking across the net at her younger sister, who plays for Pepperdine. Nicklin's sister, Kaylee.
Kind of a family reunion here.
Nicklin had an opportunity, I think, to play 1 or maybe 2 years with her younger sister in high school. They won a national title, a state title in Tennessee together.
But Is this her first time matching up at the collegiate level, though, I believe?
Yes. She spent some time, her sister spent some time with this Husker team during COVID here in Lincoln, working out and training with the Huskers. So the entire team is very familiar with Nicklin's sister, Kaylee. In fact, you remember the podcast last year that Nicklin did? Nicklin had along with
Lauren Stivrins.
Yep. They had Kaylee on the podcast once. Roll shot, good up. Pulled inside, tried line, and net violation called to Nebraska. Point for Tulsa. Back in for Nebraska comes Mendelson.
And back out,
Back
and
out
then,
because, yep.
and then in comes Rodriguez.
Yep.
Got to do that in that correct sequence. Great transition there, Horde. Key to that was, again, Maddie Kubik. She is passing nails on the dot. Giving Evans all options.
Good block, and again, Cassidy. Cassidy had 14 kills in the earlier match today on 56 swings. She has 41 swings here tonight, so she's nearing the 100 swing range on the day.
Maybe a nice bag or on that shoulder. But I think she's used to, I mean, she gets the bulk of the swings for this Tulsa squad, and so she's got that shoulder ready to roll.
We're going to get our first look here tonight of Hayden Kubik.
Coming in for her sister, which is fun.
You just look at these outsides that Nebraska has. Kubik, Launstein, Batenhorst, Krause. So here is Hayden Kubik, 6'2" freshman, West Des Moines. She went to Valley, #1 recruit in the country. I loved her quote when she committed to Nebraska. She said, "Legendary players have come through this program, and I want to be legendary."
And as a coach recruiting, I mean, you're grabbing that up.
Horde now 8 kills in the match. Great timing here between Horde and Evans.
And just the velocity on that ball.
Yeah.
And the angle. I mean, she's got the angle. We got a lot of physics going on with Caitlin Horde out there.
.21 the score. Knuckles serving for Nebraska. Good up by Knuckles. Back to Launstein. Go back and take a look at that kill from Katie Horde earlier tonight.
Well, in that quick transition, and just look at the elevation of those hips, how high she is, her contact point. And when it finishes, her teammates are like, wow, we see that every day, but Feels really great here. And again, she has made that transition to this team. You know, a player coming from a different program who's been across the net from you and now is your teammate, and they love her, and she is just a great teammate and has fit in seamlessly.
Swing is long.
At the line serving for your Huskers, number 8, Lexi Rodriguez.
3 away from taking the match.
The hit is long, point, Nebraska.
Hitting percentage for Tulsa now negative here in this current set, and just .029 in the match.
Nebraska's hitting 184 this match, but overall 312. And they've been sitting and hovering at 380 for most of the match.
At the line serving for Tulsa, number 10, Kaylee Cassidy.
Cassidy after the kill back to serve. Lonstein, nobody there. 15 now for Whitney Lonstein. That's a new career high.
Checking in the serve for your Huskers, number 1, Nicklin Hayes. Match point, Huskers!
So match point here for Nebraska at the Devaney Sports Center. Crowd on their feet. The rhythmic clapping at 24-13. They win it on a 2-hit violation, and Nebraska closes it out in set 3, 25-13. 15, 12, and 13 are the final scores. Nebraska all day long looked impressive.
Definitely came out, played very clean. We saw 2 different lineups between the 2 matches today, but again, consistent.